Okay. Welcome to the 1099 Ladies of Apex. We are here today for our last virtual meeting. Next week, we're hoping to go live over at the American Frontier. And that is actually in Apex. It's off of Owl Chapel Road. I did send out some cards to some frequent flyers, so hopefully you'll get those in the mail, giving you the actual address, and I'm going to post it on Facebook. So if you're able to join us next week, we greatly appreciate it. And if you're not able to join us, we will miss you, but maybe we'll run into you at another 1099 Ladies networking meeting. We're going to go ahead and do our 30-second elevator pitches, and we are going to let Sin, our presenter with the Business Brainstorm series topic today, go last. She can introduce herself, and then we'll go through trying to help her solve some problems that she's currently facing with her business. So do I have anybody who wants to go first? I see Hope's mic is off, so maybe she can tell us who she is and what she is doing. How's that sound?
I'm Hope with ClubZTutors.com. We provide online tutoring services, no mask required. So, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, if you are tired of doing COVID crisis schooling, you need to contact ClubZTutors.com. We can provide online tutoring anywhere, anytime, any subject. ClubZTutors.com, your COVID crisis hotline. Oh, for school, that is.
Great, Hope. Anna, I see that your mic is off, so why don't you go ahead?
Okay, sure. My name is Anna Florence Crawford. I'm an independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay, and I help busy professionals, brides, and business owners look their best. So remember how old you are? That's your business, but how old you look is mine. Anna Florence Crawford, independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay.
I like that, Anna.
Thank you.
Let's have Demi go next.
Hi, I'm Demi Goldman, and my passion is cooking. And so I run a page called Cooks with Scissors, and I will be posting tonight's dinner on there. I have a recipe for a Korean barbecue beef recipe that requires no scissors even. So it is super easy, and I'll post that on my page, Demi Goldman Cooks with Scissors.
Awesome, thank you. Let's have Christy go next.
I'm Christy Cook, and I own my own solo practice called Mod Law Firm. And I'm actually dressed up today because I just did a 2-hour contracts training seminar for some nonprofits. But through my business, I provide day-to-day legal services for purpose-driven for-profit businesses and nonprofits, and in both North Carolina and Oregon. So happy to be here. Thank you.
So you're doing law in North Carolina and what was the other state?
Oregon.
That's both sides of the country there.
I moved here from Oregon 2 years ago, so I kept my license and still serve people virtually. So
that's awesome. Cool. Yeah. Kayla, do you want to go next?
Sure. I help people and their dogs to bridge the species communication gap. I am a certified dog trainer and owner of K&C Canine Life Skills, LLC. I specialize in force-free dog training and canine behavior intervention, which means I don't use prongs, I don't use chokers, I don't use e-collars, don't do leash popping, and I also teach people that no, you don't need to dominate your dog to achieve your desired training results. Kayla Dell with K&C Canine Life Skills.
Thank you, Kayla. And Kayla's going to be our speaker next week. So we're excited to hear about how to select the correct dog trainer. Who else have we not heard from? Angie, how about you go?
Okay, I'm unmuted. I was working earlier on trying to get a banner up on my my background, and Drew Becker helped me figure that out. But as you can see, it's not up because I couldn't figure out what I was doing when I got back on here. So Angie Ciroli, Green Health First. I hope everybody is doing well. It's a long, short weekend, I know, for a lot of people with it being a holiday, and we are getting into our wonderful summer weather. So just, beware, you have natural tools to help you stay hydrated. Green tea is a great source. Green Health First help people learn about the natural therapeutic properties our plants give us for many things, metabolism, immunity, like green tea provides, as well as other resources that will help us with any sort of outdoor thing. So we have several things like citronella and lavender and peppermint and basil, which are really good for insect repelling. So we do webinars twice a week if you're interested in learning with us. We did just recently do a gardening one if you do gardening. And we have several that are themed and several that are co-hosted with nurses. So if you're interested in learning about our natural resources, Angie Ciroli, Green Health First. Look forward to hearing from you. Be well.
Thanks, Angie. Janet, how are you? You want to introduce yourself?
I am good, thank you. I'm Janet Mason, and this is Mateo, who wants to really be in my lap. Anyway, I am the executive director of Horse and Buddy. We do therapeutic horseback riding for people who have disabilities. We are reopening slowly and methodically and with intention starting next week. So I'm super excited about that. And as I've told everybody that I've been on Zoom meetings with for the last 2.5 to 3 months now, I hope that some people consider once a month or so doing Zoom meetings again, because it is very hard for me to get to all the meetings, and this Zoom thing has actually been really nice for me. So I hope there is some thought process given to still doing some online stuff, because it's easy. Anyway, a couple other things. I just wanted to let people know, if you're in the public sector, we ordered hand sanitizers, the no-touch ones, from Amazon. I had been looking for them and you just can't find them anywhere, and Amazon had them shipping in August. So I went ahead and ordered them. So I thought, if I find them before, I'll cancel the order, but if not, we'll get them in August. And they shipped this week. So they are overachieving. So if you're looking for something like that, go ahead and order it, and hopefully it will ship before you think it does. So Janet Mason, Horse and Buddy.
Thanks, Janet. So just so people do know that the 1099 ladies, some of the other groups are definitely staying virtual. We always have one group that is online Tuesday evenings, 7:30 p.m. That you're able to come, and it's more of a group discussion type thing on various topics. But the majority of the chapters are actually staying virtual, at least through June. One of the North Raleigh one, I think, is going to actually turn to being part every other week, kind of virtual versus in person, as far as that goes. And I do believe that there is, Clayton, Laura is going to actually have her first live one again in June. That's the third Thursday of June. I think hers is 11:30 or 11:45. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and have, I think I still have, Tammy, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Tammy Taz with Rock the Taz Bar Photography. I put in the comments, I have a special just for the 1099 ladies for headshots only. You get the free gallery, you just pay for the photo session. So that's an awesome deal. It's a $500 value. So you know how much of a value that is. But I'm doing that until the end of June. So if you need a headshot, this is the time to do it before we all get back into this crazy world. Tammy Taz with Rock the Taz Bar Photography.
All right, thanks, Tammy. And then I have Linda. Are you ready to go next?
Hey, good morning, or actually good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm the founder of the 1099 Ladies. Remarkable, right? That all these cool girls come and connect. And as an independent financial person. I realized that if I had to go out in the world and find every client for myself, that itself could become a full-time job. I wouldn't have much time left over to actually do my services. So I saw the value of bringing people together, getting to understand their business, and we all become each other's sales force, for lack of a better term. And I'm so happy to see everybody here. Now, what I want to tell you is that in building this thing, I've met a great many women. I am sure I know somebody you need to know. Please reach out and connect with me, because it's my pleasure to introduce you to a potential customer or a referral partner. Linda, and I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. Linda Tello of the 1099 Ladies.
Laura, are you in a place where you can go, or?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Laura Talbot. I am a residential real estate agent, and you know, I have a jingle. One of the three little pigs called me the other day. The big bad wolf blew his little house away. He needed a house built of stones or bricks so that wolf couldn't play any of its nasty tricks. I found him a brick home down a dirt path. Now he spends his day dancing, free from the wolf's wrath. I'm Laura Talbot, Dream Living Realty, making all your real estate dreams come true.
Thanks, Laura. Always a pleasure to hear your jingles. I see Jan popped in. Is she in a place where she wants to introduce herself?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Jan Pang. Several times with your group, I believe, but not regularly. It's nice to see you all. What do you want me to do? Like a 30 minutes?
We
30
have
minutes?
like maybe 30 seconds. Yes, please.
Oh, 30 seconds. Yeah, I am, that's okay. I want to say I'm a money saving specialist since 2010. Yeah, I give free seminars and then for free education, free consultation, all complimentary. I am very glad in this group, and then thank you all. I will put my contact information on the chat board.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
That's good. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And just to do a real quick intro on who I am, I'm Wendy Russell, your chaos coordinator, and I've been helping small business owners take care of some of their things, their standard operating procedures around the calendars, content, and connections. And I'm trying to just help the small business owner look at the way that they do things and simplify the processes and do things that they need to do for themselves, or I can go ahead and do some of those tasks for them to make their lives easier. Wendy Russell, your chaos coordinator. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the microphone over to Sin. This presentation, my understanding, is going to be a little more interactive. So if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, just, you know, if you have something going on in the background, you can go ahead and mute yourself, but it's free. It's okay to turn your mics on and participate in the conversation. Okay? So Sin, you're up.
Perfect. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
I want to thank, first of all, Wendy for inviting me to join this group and present. This is coming at kind of perfect timing. It actually, when she originally approached me, we were in a whole different world. So now we're in a new world and everything has changed, right? So when I was thinking about how I was going to present to you guys, because I'm in a pivot, I wasn't really sure. So just bear with me as I go through this discussion with you guys. I have a small presentation that I'll show just so you guys can get a better idea of like where we've been and where we might be going. And what I was hoping to be able to achieve with you ladies is some assistance on the back end, because I've got a couple of questions, and that's when we can sort of have a little bit more. But I thought before you could answer those questions, you might want a little background info, right? So I thought that would be helpful. So with that, I think I am just going to go ahead and, if I can, share my screen. Can I do that, Wendy?
Yep, you should be able to. I believe I turned it on.
Okay, cool. And just let me know if you guys can't see this.
We can see it.
Okay. So years ago, I used to be the city manager for a group called Pecha Kucha, and we did like slides that were in a format of 20 seconds a slide times 20 slides. Makes things fast, but I couldn't do it with this presentation. So their time's still on 40. So I'm just gonna let that go, and I might have to back up. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So you guys have some super impressive introductions. So I'm not there yet, but I'm impressed with all of you and how well you did that. But to begin, the company is called Synergy Style. Now, for years, I've been a solo entrepreneur. I'm a graphic designer, an artist, a painter, and recently I started this business with my sister. Here are some of our details. I also put that in the chat. So my partner right now with Synergy Style is my sister. She lives in Florida. I live here in Raleigh. She's more of an operations person, and I'm more of the designer, product developer type, and networking and sales and the front end. She's back end, sales and marketing from that perspective, right? So that's who we are. And what we have been doing since we started this project called Synergy Style last fall was we were taking my paintings, my original paintings, and we were applying it to products like the scarf I'm wearing, that you can see on the screen, some tote bags, phone cases, and even headbands, handbags, things that we thought women would like, and it would have some special appeal, things that you couldn't find in a normal store anywhere. They were unique. So, and then we launched, and then COVID happened. We literally launched on March 11th, and World Health declared pandemic on March 12th. So literally, the wind in our sails was completely blown away. We didn't really know when we launched, obviously in those conditions, whether or not we were sort of feeling crickets to our presentation and our sales efforts, because people didn't like the products or because it was just bad timing. You know, people were really maybe trying to conserve cash. But some of my other people in my networking groups were like, no, people are still buying stuff. So we were unsure. We decided to go into what we called a mindful pivot, where we kind of looked at like what we had been doing, what we thought we wanted to do, where things aligned. And my sister and I are very different people. So we also kind of did this mind Venn diagram of like where she and I were very passionate about, where we were in our passion moments. So we were in this deep dive to find our sisterhood why. And after we kind of compared our Venn diagrams of our brains and where we were at, we found that we aligned in two areas. We aligned in the health and animal welfare. and also in our environment. They were all combined. She and I have been on a plant-based diet for many, many years. I've been a flexitarian since I was 15. And she's fully into the plant-based life for much longer. And so because of that, our pivot ended up leading us to being able to provide value to this growing plant-based community. What we want to do is we want to bring information, inspiration, practical tips, and products to our now e-commerce shop that is up and functional and ready. We spend a lot of time building, and now we're converting it slowly. In the presentation of something like this, we often get what is the difference between a plant-based or a vegan mean, because I think that the terminology in the industry is like confusing sometimes. So for this discussion, I just wanted to be clear that food, clothing, skincare, household products that do not contain any animal byproducts, that would be considered plant-based and or vegan. So either way, same kind of thing. But I'll often talk to people, maybe if I was like, you know, at Starbucks or something, and I'll be like, yes, I'm vegan, so please don't use anything that had dairy in it, right? And they're like, oh, it's definitely vegan. And I'll say, no, it has actually milk in it. And they're like, yeah, that's not vegan, it's just milk. So that's why I was like going through this explanation, because sometimes it can be confusing. So anyway, many of you might actually be accidentally vegan anyway, because many products out there, like Oreo cookies, for example, Fritos, are actually vegan. Anyway, I digress. We think that that there is a growing market based on some of these statistics. So 6% of the US consumers say they're vegan, and that's a 500-time increase right now. Again, the sales of plant-based foods has increased 11% in 2019 and 2018 to 2019, and the market represents $4.5 billion. 2% of Americans identify as vegan as of March 2019, according to one poll, but there's others that I've seen that are similar. And then 40% of millennials identify as vegan, as well as the baby boomers, who tie each at 21%. Now, why would that be? Basically, the millennials are trying to save the environment, and the baby boomers don't want to die. And probably the same for the Gen X. So the single best way that you can influence your footprint environmentally is just to avoid animal products. And the amount of greenhouse gases that the animal ag produces is 18%, which is like more than all of our transportation combined, airplanes, everything. It's just a lot. So now we know what our why is. We know what our big why is, and we're really comfortable with that why. But now we want to connect our why to our products. So what we did was we took all the pretty stuff that we originally had in the shop and pretty much took most of it out. We left some in for the moment, but that's where this discussion and brainstorming with you all would be really greatly helpful. So we researched what some of our other industry businesses were doing, and they did things similar to the shirts that you see here. So we came up with a line. These are some of our new t-shirts that are now available in our shop. And this is to help with basically the narrative of where we want to go in terms of helping people get to where we want them to be in a plant-based lifestyle, if that's where they want to be. So they're a little cheeky, some of them, and some are just solid and nice. But at this point, this is where I thought maybe we could just brainstorm. And I'm gonna stop the presentation at the moment. I have some questions. I don't know why it's continuing to do that. There we go. Anyway, so now I'm back, and I was wondering if the presentation gave you a good enough background on being able to brainstorm at this point. Would you say yes?
Yeah, I think it gives enough of a baseline of what your company's value is, or values are, I should say.
Okay.
So Sin, what I heard, this is Hope, what I heard was that you're vegetarian and or vegan and an artist, and you're wanting to combine those two talents through clothing. Is that right?
No, not necessarily through clothing.
Okay.
We're kind of open to some other products as well. One of the barriers I had when we were doing this pivot was that we had spent so much time, money, resources, and a lot of our startup capital hiring photographers, getting models, ordering all of the products, taking the photographs, all of that. And I was a little reluctant to like let that all go because we had literally just done that. So what our new plan is with that, and the way that I think I can make it feel better for me, is I have an existing artist site where I sell my paintings and all of that. And we're going to combine the apparel pieces over there to where it can be connected to the more of the artwork, you know, like there was a clearer connection between, oh, you painted this and then you made a scarf from it. That makes sense. And that was part of why we were having trouble with the other site, was because we couldn't get, like, there wasn't a big sisterhood why that tied it all together.
Okay.
So I'm kind of setting that aside over there. Did that answer your question?
Yes. Just a brainstorm to throw out and put in your back pocket. Instead of hiring models, why don't you use some of your small business peers as models? Because we all have a desire to get our businesses out there. You have a desire to get your business out there. I'm going to be much more likely to say, hey, look at me wearing this vegan outfit, than I am to say, oh yeah, all my meat-loving friends, check this out.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. And in fact, I did do a call for that and put it out on my social networking, hoping that some of my associates would actually do that. But I found that that was actually harder to get people to model for me, to be honest. So I ended up having a lot of trouble with that. It's a whole other stream of consciousness that I would love to talk to you about it at some point. Yeah, it was way more difficult than I thought. But by hiring, I really meant I found some young ladies on a modeling site that were local, and they did it in trade for photographs, you know, after the fact. Cool. But after I did all of that and people saw my network, saw the pictures, and people came up to me and said, oh, I would have done that, you know, but you don't know who those people are, right?
Yeah.
Like you ask people, like I asked Wendy, right? And she's like,
I'm not the model.
She's like, oh.
It's an everyday model. It's not, you know, some sleek, high cheekboned, hippie kind of model. It's just the everyday woman or everyday child.
Yes. Now I have some names, and I can add your name too if you'd like. Yay.
So Hope, Sin, I have another question with, so the products, is your art still a focus in the pivot part of the business? is your art still a part of that, or is that kind of not something that you're seeing in the vision?
Yeah, we haven't found a more natural way to do that, but everything that I do, because I'm a graphic designer, so all of the designs on the t-shirt were designed by me. So I'm still designing and creating and curating the look, right? So it's still there. It's just not my, the paintings that you're probably more familiar with, Wendy.
Okay.
The paintings that Wendy has seen and like are on the walls over at Vibe, for example, are very abstract and they wouldn't necessarily be a botanical flower. So right now I'm creating a new series of designs that are a little bit more tailored to plants and botanical illustrations that I think will be part of the new business, but it won't be the same type of art that I was doing in the past. It's just going to be different. For the moment, the t-shirts that we did do, I just pulled, artwork from various already existing places like Canva, that I liked the flower motif or whatever, and then I would edit it in Illustrator and make it make it our own and change colors and that sort of thing. But later, when I have a little bit more time, I'll do some original pieces that will be part of the collection.
I'm looking at your website, the website at the t-shirts and the shopping, and it kind of pulls everything together, everything that you explained about it, and I think it's presented really well.
Oh, thanks.
It's easy to follow, it's easy to read, it's easy to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for that feedback, because I wasn't sure if I didn't really think about that. I was going to ask you guys that particular question, and then I took it out because I was like, well, they're not going to be able to review the website, in time to, real time. So I really appreciate you doing that. Yeah.
So I also have here, Janet has a little wonky internet, so she posted in 2 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and ask them for her.
Okay.
First one is there any thought of including vegetarian as opposed to just vegan I think into your mix of your, I guess, potential clients? Is that correct that you're talking about, or into the purpose of the mission of the whole business? Is that what you're asking, Janet? Just shake your head.
Yes.
Okay. You just might reach a wider audience. As I know, she's saying that she is vegetarian and she knows a ton of others, but fewer who are truly vegan.
Yes, that's an excellent question and perspective. So I totally 100% agree with that, Janet. Which is why on our website, we pretty much veer away from the word vegan completely. I only used it in this presentation because there was so much confusion about it. I was just trying to be clear, but we're actually coining something called plant powered, and also use plant-based to be more, we hope that is actually more clear. Vegetarian is also kind of a very confusing place to be too. That's why I considered myself a flexitarian. There is people who eat meat, then there's flexitarians, and there's vegetarians, and then there are full-on only meat eaters. 29% of the population already are flexitarians. That means that, like I said earlier, many of you are already eating a plant-based diet by default, probably because just because. There is a there is a component to my sister and I's big why as to why we choose to be vegan, if you want to say that, opposed to the flexitarian or the vegetarian. And basically it has to do with dairy and animal cruelty, to be honest. So we feel like the animal cruelty piece of it is just a hard sell, and we cannot, we can't go in leading with that. So instead, we're leading with health and well-being and happiness in this way. And we don't want to exclude anybody, because we feel like even if you do something, this is a tagline that we have on our values page, just do something. Like, that's better than nothing. And so we just want to be encouraging to everyone.
Kind of like our friend Patty, who's with the Greenish Neighbor. She's like, you're greenish. You're not 100% completely green. And I like that philosophy. If you bringing in the plant-based versus the no animal product kind of thing, I think you're giving it a different message.
Yeah, I mean, there's subtext for us. And when people ask me, you know, why, and they really want to know, we can get into it, you know, we can talk about it, but that's not where we want to be, you know, right from the get-go. We want it to just be helpful, provide consistent and real information that will help you live a healthier lifestyle, mainly. But we aren't ourselves, we've just been living it. So they say if you want to do something, you like write a book or whatnot, you would do it based on your own personal experiences and how you lead your life and what's important to you. So that's why it was a natural fit for the two of us to do that. But we do want to be sure that we're positioned, that we don't exclude anyone, and that the words sometimes can be very intimidating to some people, and we don't want it to be off-putting at all. We want it to be very inclusive.
I have a second question here from Janet, and the question was, have you considered selling in local shops? So right now you're doing everything online. She had mentioned the Cocoon Gallery in downtown Apex because they feature and are always looking for new artists, new vendors to put into that shop. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question as well. And yes, we did consider it. And in fact, about a month or so before pandemic land, I had reached out to a local boutique to sort of see like how that would work out. What I found was they wanted to do, say, a pop-up with some of our products, and we loved the idea. But when it came down to the finances, by the time I went, set up, and they took 50% of it, I didn't actually have any money left to make it worth my while to do that. So the only way to do that is to have enough money. This is like, unless I'm missing something, to have enough money to be able to purchase inventory from China that we would be able to purchase it at such a low cost that we would be able to absorb this 50% that the shops would want to take. Our model, and part of, because we are concerned about the environment, is based on an on-demand system. You want to buy it, we make it when you purchase it. There is no inventory, and there is less going to the landfills because of it. It's a controversial point, but that is our position for the moment. that on demand is a better way to be for our environment. There's something called fast fashion, and there's something called slow fashion, and slow fashion is a better place to be. The other problem, coincidentally or not, this was already there to begin with, purchasing from China, okay. When we were doing our ads, our Facebook ads, most of the people, we had a lot of traffic. Nobody bought anything. But the majority of the comments that came through was, oh, your bags are pretty, but they're made in China, so no. Then the pandemic happened, and there's a lot of strong voices in the world right now saying stuff about China, which didn't help this narrative either. So there's a lot of misconceptions about China. If you looked in your closet, literally, probably, I think 98% of it is made in China. But if you like say, hey, it's made, so we wanted to be transparent, so we put like, it's made in China. We vetted the source. It's good. It's okay. They're ethical. They're doing it the way they need to do it. They happen to do it better than any US manufacturer. I'm sorry, that's the way it was. But, oh no, if it's made in China, we're not purchasing it. And so it's hypocritical, but I think that is the consumer. And I can't change their minds about that. So the pandemic has also made something really clear, though, too, with shipping, as you all have experienced probably quite deeply. You know, we didn't really know what to do about the China situation either, because it actually, truthfully, was the better product and was slightly less expensive than the US manufacturers, even if we could find them for on demand. But with all of that going on, there still is this shipping. It comes all the way from China. And what's happening now is people are just looking to purchase more local. If it doesn't have to go that far, that's going to be better for everyone. So that is one of the reasons when we were doing our mindful pivot that we were looking at all of the things that were troublesome for us before the pandemic anyway, and then after the pandemic became even more troublesome for a variety of reasons. So, you know, we don't have to do business with China. If our customer base is like, screw China, we're not buying it if that's what you're going to do. I mean, I could be like, oh, here's this great purse, and just lie, you know, it's not just, or not tell the truth about where it is. If someone should ask me, where's it made, you know, like, it just gets really, and we're not going to do that. We're not going to lie to the consumer. So it's just better not to do it if you are going to be forced to do that, you know? So, so to answer the question about the selling to shops, would love to do that. I don't know how to do that, because the only other way is to take the product that we have, not buying it in bulk enough, and raise the price up, that it actually then would be more expensive. And so the problem of, well, I would love to buy that bag, but you know, it's $500 and I don't buy bags for $500. And we were trying to make it affordable. I don't know. It's okay. We sort of moved out of the bag thing anyways, but it's possible that if we found the right product, you know, maybe we would still do something like that. I don't know.
So what is, other than the t-shirts, what is your focus for your products at this point? Is, because we got a few more minutes left in the discussion, and I didn't know if you had another question for the group.
Well, I actually have 4 questions on my, I actually have more than that. So let me just look at that and see.
Like which one's your burning question?
Yeah, which one is my, I have a couple of, I think I might ask you guys really quickly. So we put a lot of work into that when we first launched with Synergy Style. And my question is to you all now. You know, Synergy Style LLC is registered, blah, 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 a lot of work, email, domains, and then we're having the feeling I can make a connection and a case for that name, but I also feel like it may not be the best name for this new venture. So what are your thoughts on that?
On the name?
Can I just continue the same branded name, at least for the moment, without it making it feel like it's disconnected from the brand voice and message?
I don't see how it's disconnected from the brand voice or message. I mean, you're still trying to do what your foundation is, right? You know, and use what you believe are healthy, natural, plant-based products in all that you do. So, yeah. So I think
So
Synergy Style is still a, you know, a valid name to use.
it's really just like the shorter bit of lifestyle, right? So it's sort of like, right?
Yeah. So Kayla wrote in the comments because she's has I guess she's in the middle of like two people working from one place. My thought is to stay with your intuition and gut feeling. Your business name will reach the right people in their own time.
Yes. As long as it.
I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I just thought you're asking for the brand, you want to change or not, based on what your design is. I don't think you should follow the selection of sources like from China, made of China. That's not your original design was, you know, your goal was. So I think you should stay with your brand since you already opened the market, and then just develop more. Doesn't matter. China is, you know, go better or go worse is nothing to do with your brand. That you should believe it.
Thank
you. I think that you're where you're pivoting to, you might want to change the name. I really like the plant-based or more organic message. I think that what you're using now might be a little more confusing. It could be that, or maybe have a line of clothing or name your clothing something along the plant-based line so that you can reach a broader audience, and maybe you won't have to explain as much of what your business is. That can be the background, that could be what your support, but having a logo or something that's recognizable or a brand that's recognizable, that means what the Synergy Style is.
Yes, thank you. We actually didn't finish out the logo design because we actually felt like even from the beginning, our why was not clear enough, and we couldn't actually, it was our intentions to have like some kind of icon that represented who we were. But because we were having so much trouble with that original why, we just went without anything. So perhaps if I find the right iconology, it would, you know, work together better. And perhaps even if we added a small tagline or a word underneath it that like helped, you know, be a little bit more poignant in what we were trying to do. Yeah. I did have another question for you guys if we had some time.
We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. This was actually from my sister, she was like, if you have time, ask them this question. This is the bonus question. All right, so the question is,
all right, guys.
Does everyone on the call understand what the benefits of eating a plant-based diet is? Just yes or no? Okay, good. So she was like, if yes, then are you currently eating mainly a plant-based diet?
No.
So
Vegetarian.
Mostly
Mixed.
Pescatarian.
Hands.
So what I was thinking that would be so helpful, because I have a personal, genuine interest in this subject matter. So it's remarkable that I got to come today and hear you speak. I don't believe in coincidences. It's like a divine appointment for me personally.
Yeah.
If you had some kind of blog that helped people transition, whether it was recipes or, hey, do you like ziti? Well, this is how you can make it plant-based. Or, if you had information first of all, I think it would bring your authentic audience to your website, who would then want to support you in purchasing the things that you have to offer there, right? But
yes.
Now you've switched from, hey, I have something for sale, to, hey, I have a solution to your problem. What's your problem? I'm trying to be healthier. I'm trying to have a more plant-based life. I'm in the process of getting there. Can you help me get there? Teaching me steps along the way. Can you be my ambassador on this journey? Well, now you've taken on a whole new look, and along the way, oh yeah, I want to own that t-shirt. I want to liken myself to somebody who's helping me in my life be healthier, reduce inflammation, no more animal cruelty, like all the things. I mean, I'm right there. It's just what happens. I'm lazy. I go to the store or I'm out and I grab chicken nuggets. Like, it's just, I have to have
I know.
to replace the patterns. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. And actually that is the core of actually how we did our pivot. We started this blog, and you can go to our website now, and there are transformational stories that we're featuring. I'm looking for more people who have transformational stories. I did a call on Facebook to see if I could get more people to tell their stories as well. And we're offering a lot of information. The other little thing that we have in our pocket is, coincidentally, my daughter, who lives in San Francisco, recently graduated as a functional nutritionist. So she backs up she peer reviews all of our articles to be sure that they're actually from a functional nutritional medical point of view, with that voice. So everything that you see on our blog will be straight up good information. And I had somebody reach out to me last night about that they wanted to try to do this, and my blog story touched them so much they want my help to figure out how to transition. So we're going to have that conversation, and we're planning a one-on-one transition, how to switch out foods, what's in your pantry, that sort of thing. And so some of the other product ideas were, oh, well, do we offer consultation? And is like, mainly I'm thinking it's all just free information right now, but maybe there's a way, or maybe I create a book that goes along with it, or maybe we sell kitchen gadgets that make this transition easier. Like, if you're going to eat a lot of tofu, you really need that tofu press to push, like things that were relevant to,
or the thing that makes noodles out of the vegetables,
Yeah, right.
That's
like
awesome.
Things that
cost anymore.
Exactly, right. So all right, so thank you for that. That's great. And it would be great to connect with you if anyone has questions about how they can do that transition. But this is the remainder of that question that my sister had was, if you hadn't been eating and you knew the benefits and you're not completely eating that, was it because A, you don't know how to cook plant-based, B, pretty sure it would taste awful, C, can't live without cheese or animal meat, or D, never thought about it?
Or E, lazy.
Yeah, it has to be
C.
simple. If we're gonna incorporate,
C.
it has to be simple.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
E, lazy would
Yeah,
be.
come on, a frozen
yeah.
pizza, a hot pocket, you're in a hurry, heat it
Yeah,
up.
stop
run
at
out.
Wendy's,
you know?
whatever.
You're not talking to cooks with scissors over here.
Right.
You're talking,
Good
you're
taste.
talking to cooks with microwave.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
if
it's
Cooks with Scissors want to partner up, because somebody gave my sister an idea last night over Memorial Day, that she was like, I'm totally lazy, just what you said. She's like, if you could just come to my house and prepare the meals. And she was like, hey, she lives on a horse farm and built a horse farm, this lady, because she built a $25 million business and then sold it and bought horses to live the rest of her nice life out. So she actually knows about business models and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, that's the business you guys need to be in. You need to make the meals and deliver it to everyone. And I was like,
All
I
right,
know,
Demi, you got your marching orders.
I actually
taste.
just saw a commercial for a business that does that locally.
Yeah, my sister is like, I can barely get her to eat like vegetables. She would just eat like the packaged, because she's lazy, vegan meals, but she, it gets expensive. And actually a lot of the stuff that's in those things is not the healthiest for you either.
Right.
So
Lots of
there's a
salt.
big distinction between being a plant-based eater, because you could live your entire life just eating Oreo cookies and say you're a plant-based, and then your hips would not be very happy with you, right?
Hey, you could
A lot
do
of you, your heart.
you could do a 30-day challenge where somebody pays and every day you provide them with a meal plan and motivation and 30 days, and then they have to provide a testimony at the end of the 30 days how they feel different from before the challenge. And you drag them through the 30 days with all the information they need, giving them shopping lists, everything, so that they could actually pull this off. 30 days, hardcore,
That's great. How
detox.
much would you pay?
I paid $50 for that.
Okay.
Hey, listen, it is 1:03, so I know some
Okay.
of you need to go.
I did too. Really nice to meet you.
It was great
Yes,
to
nice
meet
to meet you,
you too. Thank you
Send-
all for all of your lovely ideas and help. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sin, I have your contact information, and I'm going to go ahead and send it out in the email that I send out after this.
Okay.
Andy.
So that way everybody will get to connect to you as far as that goes. But thank you, ladies, for coming. Next week we will be live over at the American Frontier. So
Congratulations.
You'll put that in your notes too, Wendy.
yes, I will. Yes.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a great
Thank
week, guys.
you.
Be well.
And I won't be seeing
Thanks,
everybody
Wendy.
anymore. So
Bye, Tammy. Bye,
Bye.
Debbie. Thanks for joining, Anna.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
Okay. Thanks. All right, Sin. I hope you
Thanks,
got
Wendy.
something out of it. It's just you and I on here now.
Oh, good. Hey. Yeah, I didn't know you actually could save the chat, so I was trying to save the chat, but I don't. Oh,
So on the bottom right side of the chat, you can click on it. There's 3 dots that you click on,
got it.
and you
Got
say
it,
save the
okay.
chat, and it will put it wherever.
It says it put it on Finder. So I'll just look on Finder and I'll probably see it.
Yeah.
No, thanks so much for that. Yeah, I mean, like, it was a big subject, and it's a huge change. I mean, like, probably even you're probably like, what in the world did she do? But yeah.
Kind of, so I would have liked to had a little more time to kind of bring it all together for people who were at least, being a part of this. It is really going from the whole, you've kind of done a business life cycle here. Do you know what I mean? You've gone from birth to pretty much, in a way, you said you're putting that your products to the side kind of thing. And you've, birthed another thing in amidst all of this, as far as that goes. So
Yeah, I literally gave birth twice. In the
Yeah.
past 6 months.
And it doesn't sound like, to a lot of people, it doesn't sound like the China thing is as big of an issue for this group. But who's to say, outside of that,
We didn't we didn't necessarily say, hey, if it was made in China, we weren't going to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
But we did say, like, if we can find it locally, let's try that first, just because if we can, you know, like having like, I don't know, like just a decision tree. If you could find
Mhm.
it locally and it's available and it's not too expensive, will that work? And then if you can't, like I'm going, if I go and do like the tofu press or the vegetable spiral, you can be sure I'm going to have to go to Alibaba and do that. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think there's any way, but I also don't need to be like made in China. Like, I don't have to be transparent. And that's the other thing.
Mhm.
I just took all the transparency off of our website.
Mhm.
Like, if you want to ask me, I will tell you where it's
Mhm.
made, but I don't need to be delivering that information ahead of time because it just
Right.
puts barriers in the way. So
Yeah.
we made some new decisions about only like purchasing things for Synergy Style now with this lifestyle plant-based thing. Only things that we would want on our body or in our kitchen mainly. And so we decided 100% cotton. So we've just been like looking at vendors right now. If I could find 100% 50% cotton, 50% recycled PET polyester, which is recycled products plus cotton made into a t-shirt, because then you're using recycled products, which is great. And it's less costly, you know, than it could, but I haven't found a vendor like that yet that will do the drop shipping the way we want. So we're just